This is a tutorial on how to complete bulk Polygon NFT airdrops without the use of a developer and without having to do it one by hand. This is great for artists and creators who want to reward their communities with NFT airdrops, but they don't necessarily have the developer help to do it. We're going to be using something called Rarity Garden today to complete this, so let's get started. The first step is that you're going to need Matic to do this. And specifically, you're going to need Matic that's on the Polygon POS chain. So I'll explain this step by step so that we all kind of understand. First things first, let's take a look at my MetaMask wallet here and how it's currently set up. This is probably what you're used to looking at. So we're connected to the ETH mainnet right here. We can see our ETH balance and we can see ETH. What we're going to want to add is import tokens, and we're going to want to look for Matic. So that's the first step. Once that's added, we can see that it will now display our Matic balance as well as our ETH balance, but we don't have any Matic. The second thing you're going to want to do for setup is add the Polygon Network to your MetaMask. So how we'll do that is we'll just go to polyscan.com, scroll to the very bottom, and they have a little button here that says Add Polygon Network. So all you need to do is click it, scroll down. It'll give you this message, which is something you should watch out for, but this site is definitely safe. This is the Polygon website, but you should always verify this chain information because you can you could add technically like a fake chain to your account and it could take your money. So just be aware of that. I know it's asking us if it's okay to switch the network, which it is. So let's take a look at our MetaMask now. And now you can see that it has two networks here. It has the ETH mainnet and it has the Matic mainnet. And another interesting thing you can see is that under assets, there is still Matic and there is ETH. Okay, so the question becomes, if you're not familiar with this stuff, why do I have pretty much no ETH on the Matic network, but if I switch back to ETH, I have 0.08 ETH. It's two different networks, that's why. So if I want to take, it's two different networks, but both of these coins exist on both networks and they can be switched back and forth. So what we have to do is we have to get our Matic. We're going to turn ETH into Matic first, and then we're going to move our Matic to the Polygon chain. This can work. You can start with any currency that is in MetaMask. It really doesn't matter. You're just going to basically be performing a swap and then performing a bridge. Or in the reverse order. I don't know that it really matters. I think one, you could probably save more money, but I don't know too much about that. So we're going to be performing a bridge and a swap to accomplish this. We're going to take the 0.08 ETH and we're going to change it for Matic, and then we're going to put it onto the Polygon chain. Okay, so let's get started. The best site to do this on is the Umbria network. I've tried other sites. This one has just the cheapest fees. Comparatively, if you are using other sites, it can get very, very expensive. So the first thing we're going to do is called a bridge, and this is going to take our currency from one network to another network. So we're going, in this case, from ETH mainnet, and we're receiving it on Polygon POS chain. So we're just going to hit max. You have selected to bridge your entire balance to this currency. Be sure you have enough to pay the gas fee too. Okay, we won't do the whole thing. We'll do like 0.05, I think, and we'll hope gas isn't too bad. So it's letting me know you will receive approximately 0.0497. Sounds good. And let's just hit send to MetaMask. And then we hit send. It's going to ask us to approve the transaction just like it would in any normal transaction. So we'll hit confirm. And this can sometimes take a little more time than you're used to transactions occurring. I don't know why. It just takes more time than a normal transaction. But I will be right back when this has gone through and we can see that it's pending right here. So now that we've completed our bridge from the Ethereum mainnet to the Polygon POS chain, what we're going to do is we're going to come over to the swap. And what we're going to swap is our Ethereum, which has now been moved over to the Polygon chain. So you can see our 0.05 ETH is now in our Matic mainnet wallet, whereas previously it was in our ETH mainnet network here. And we're just going to swap that over to Matic, and that will give us some Matic that's on the Matic mainnet to trade. So we're going to select, here's the URL here, matic.umbria.exchange/swap. I will post all the links below, but that's what it is. We are going to just swap it all, and we're going to swap it to Matic here. So that's going to give us about 58 Matic, which is quite a lot of Matic. When we go ahead and we launch our collection, it's going to cost us 3 Matic for just like a one-time fee for using the site, which is not very much at all, as you can tell. And then from there on, doing transactions is going to be very, very inexpensive. So I send out thousands and thousands and thousands of these every month, and I've not worked my way through even 100 Matic yet. This is going to give us 60, and it's 0.05 ETH. So now for this next step, you're actually going to need some Matic already in your account and on Matic mainnet. And that's because you're going to be paying your gas fees to swap ETH to Matic in Matic. So one approach to this is that you can get a friend to send you just a little bit of Matic to get you started. Another approach is to just buy it off of an exchange. You can also skip the first step of this video completely of bridging ETH or swapping ETH to Matic if you just buy directly Matic. The reason that I'm showing both steps is because it's really important to understand the difference between the two networks and what the difference between swapping and bridging is. Bridging is when you're connecting between two networks. Swapping is when you're connecting between two coins. The reason it's important is because when I first started this, there was several times where, because the networks don't automatically show up in your MetaMask wallet, that I didn't understand. Like, I had sent ETH, I had swapped it, I had bridged it, I didn't know where it went. I thought I had just lost my ETH or my Matic, but that's not the case. It's probably just on the other network. So to get this Matic, to get your gas fees started, either just buy it from any exchange that you can get it from. Like, I think you can get it from let me see, crypto.com or Binance directly, and it will already be on the Polygon network. Or there's other places, like, for example, I believe on Coinbase, when you buy Matic, it does connect to the ETH network. I don't know if that's for sure, but either way, if you buy Matic from an exchange and you send it to yourself and you can't find it, just try checking both networks up here. Just try checking ETH and Matic. And if you're on the wrong network, because where you're trying to get is to the Matic network, then just bridge it. Just use this first step that I did. Where is it? Here it is. Just use this first step here to bridge it to the other network, and you're all set. Okay, so we have our gas fee and we have our ETH that we're trading for Matic. So let's approve the transaction. And this is going to get us the final little bit of Matic that we need to move on to our next step. One thing I want to add is that a message may come up telling you that the price impact is very great and ask you to confirm your transaction. That just means because of the amount of trades being made on the network right now, you're actually going to be getting slightly less Matic or whatever the coin is for your transaction than you normally would. That's just something that happens when the network is busy, so you're going to have to live with that or just wait for a different time. Anyways, there we go. There, our Matic is in our account, and we are ready to get set up on Rarity Garden. So let's move over to the next step. So our next step is going to be to head over to Rarity.Garden and use the app to do the airdrop. So you're going to hit launch apps, and then you're going to pick Polygon as your chain, and you're going to click mint. This is going to ask you to connect to your MetaMask and just enter the correct network. which you can change on the app here and in your MetaMask in the usual place right here. But for this, we're on Matic mainnet. I created a test collection already, but I forgot to record it, so I'm just going to create a new one with you now. But basically, there's two ways to do this. You can use it with a new collection, a new contract that you create through Rarity Garden, or alternatively, you can use it with an existing collection that is attached to your wallet. So if you're using it with an existing collection, basically all you do is you go to your NFT wallet, and you're going to hit register collection, and then you're going to add the collection address in your register collection thing here, and just hit add collection. And if you're not familiar, this right here, this contract address would be your collection address. So you can find it by scrolling down to OpenSea into the details page, and then it will open up in Polyscan or Etherscan. So you just paste that right in there and you go add collection. Now, the way I did this is by creating a new collection inside Rarity Garden. That's what we do with Honey Seasons. And you just head down to Collection Manager and you're going to hit add new collection. And then all the information that you're entering is basically just what's going to show up on OpenSea. So you put your collection name here. And then ticker is basically just the little symbol that shows up on like Etherscan and stuff that goes beside your contract name, and that's what your like token is called. So Honey's, for example, is HUN for Hun, kind of like your stock ticker. So this one could be new or whatever. And then you can enter your description, test description. You can choose an image to represent your collection. So I'll just use this. Where is it? This hat. I'll just use this hat. And then external URL would just be like a URL that's connected to the collection. So if I was doing Honeys, I would put honeys.net. And all this information you can edit after. So it's no worries if you mess up or you want to change it. And then you can see here, there's just going to be a three Matic developer fee per collection. So that's just one time when you create the new collection. And then there's no like fee to add items or anything after that. So when you're done that, hit create, and then it will ask you to sign the transaction in your MetaMask, and then it will create your collection for you. So now you can see our new collection is created. Sometimes this will take a couple minutes to show up. So just don't be worried and think it didn't work. As long as you can see your transaction went through here for the 3 Matic, it should be good to go. So the next thing we're going to have to do is add NFTs to this collection. So we'll just click right here, this little pencil, and go new NFT. There's also an option to manage NFTs and edit the collection information. All right, so we have a couple variables we have to enter here. Our supply is how much we're going to be minting right now. Our max supply is how much it's ever possible to mint. So say I want 100 editions to show up in my OpenSea account right now, minted and ready to go. I'll put 100. But say I want the option to be able to mint 900 more. So I would put 1,000 in max supply. And then what it's going to do is it's going to mint 100 for me right away. But there's going to be an option in the dashboard to mint more later up to 1,000. After that 1,000 runs out, you cannot do anything to edit it. You can never mint more of that same item. So just make sure you choose wisely what you want your max supply to be. You can, through the interface, burn NFTs. So if you end up having more than you want, you can get rid of them. Your name here is just going to be your OpenSea title of NFT. Your description, same, is just going to be the OpenSea description. So I'll show you. So this would be your title. This would be your description. And then you're going to choose your media. So it supports images, videos, audios, and interactive files, just like OpenSea. So let's just, what should I mint? What should I mint? I guess let's just mint this picture of this hat that we had already. So you'll put it in here. Sometimes I've noticed that it like doesn't show up right away. And that's okay. It usually works for me anyways. There are just some little like glitches and like a little annoying things with this site sometimes. And like, to be honest, it's frustrated me before, but it's never made it so that I'm like, okay, I can't like do this or I can't use this. Like my airdrops always end up going out on time and stuff like that. I would just say like give yourself a couple extra days or whatever to troubleshoot if you need to. And I will mention that there's a Discord that you can get some help in from the creator directly in there. So I know that my image is here, it's just not showing up. Your external URL would just be the same information that OpenSea asks you about if you want to add like a URL. So for my honeys ones, I would just put like honeys.net or whatever. And then here you can add the traits and you can add all the different trait types. So month, and then we'll say, what month is it? July. And you can add it, and then you can just keep going like that, like you normally would. Series, hats. It's not a cupcake, it's a hat. Okay, so you just add those. And from here, you're gonna mint your NFT. And some things are editable after the fact, as long as you don't send one to anybody. If you still own all 100 and you want to go back in and edit the image or edit the title after you've minted it, you can do that. But as soon as you send one to somebody, you cannot do that. You cannot edit it anymore until they're all back in your possession again. So I would just say, if you make a mistake, it's okay, but be very careful before you send them out. Because at that point, it's going to be, you know, you're pretty much screwed. So, okay, we'll come down to create NFT. And it's going to ask us to sign the transaction. So you can see to mint 1,000 of them, it's about 0.0086 Matic, which is like nothing. We'll wait for that to go through. It's usually pretty quick. One trick I have really noticed with this site is it doesn't tell you that there's any limit on how many you can mint at once or send at once, like when we do the bulk transfers. But I have noticed if I try to transfer more than like 600 at once, then the transaction has problems, and I'll show you how to fix that in a second. So here it's telling us our NFT has been successfully created, and we should be able to go see it in OpenSea now. This part for them to get uploaded actually does sometimes take a little bit of time as well. Usually it's less than like, I've never really had it be more than like a couple hours, but that's just another thing again that I'd say plan ahead a little bit and take your time so you can make sure you're able to wait for this to go through. So let's give that a few minutes, and then I'll see you guys back here when we're ready to do the mass transfer. Perfect. So we've given it a little time, and sometimes you may have to refresh the metadata. Sometimes not. It's just kind of up to how OpenSea is feeling for the day. But we've got our item created here. It has all our correct data, and it's in our account. So basically the next thing we have to do is send out our airdrop. And to do that, we're going to need pretty much one thing, which is a list of the people we want to send it to. That can be something that's hard to get if you're not familiar with how to get it. You might be like listing them out by hand, but don't do that. Don't list them out by hand. So there's kind of two ways that you can do this if you have a collection you want to get all the holders for. One of the ways is you can use Moralis API. This is what we use, but my developers do this part for me, and they send me the list of holders every month. Moralis API is really good because it allows us to do more complex things like export individual lists of holders by how many tokens they own and stuff like that, which we need to do for honey seasons. But if you don't have access to a developer and you're really trying to do this on your own, then you can actually do it through Etherscan. So what you're going to do is go to etherscan.io, and you're going to search for tokens. This is not actually the home page, but this is what the home page would look like for you guys. So you would just search tokens, and then you would look for your project token. So ours is Honeys, HUN. Here it is. So you can see tokens, and then you can get a bunch of information here, but basically you're just going to scroll down and you'll see a holders tab right here. And this will show you all of your holders in order. The default order is just most held. So our biggest holder has 234 in their one wallet. And then, yeah, you can see all your holders here, which is super duper handy. But the other super duper handy thing is you can download this by CSV format. Limited to the first 10,000 token holders only. Got it. We only need 10,000. So that's great. And basically it downloaded a text file for us. So we're just going to go to Google Sheets. We're going to go File, Import, and we're going to upload this token sheet to Google Sheets. Okay. And then this is going to give you a nice, clean, sexy, beautiful list with the full addresses. It converts the ENS of all your holders. Sounds pretty good, right? Okay. So just closing some of these tabs. On to the next step. So, we're going to need a couple numbers, and I'll go over those in a second, but if we click on it, here's what it looks like. So we need the 2 addresses, we need the collection address, we need the NFT ID, and we need the amounts. So you can use this to send like multiple NFTs to multiple people in multiple numbers at a time, but I usually just use it like 1 drop per NFT, and it's a little simpler that way. So first things first, let's grab our collection address, and our collection address is actually just the address right here listed on this little card. So we'll add that in, and then we need our 2 addresses, 1 per line. So if we were using this spreadsheet, we would just come grab all these. This is kind of what I was talking about. So if I was truly using this list, this would be 2,599 users I'm sending this to, but the site doesn't appear to process that many. So what I would recommend, and what I do, is I just go down, I grab about 500 or so to be on the safe side, and I just do the same transaction over and over again. So I'll just kind of mark these ones as red, copy them, paste them to here, and then I'll just repeat this next step. Next is our NFT ID. So that is going to be found on the OpenSea page. If you scroll down and you go to details, it's just the token ID. So for this one, it's just number 1. And the amounts. So how many do you want to send to each person? In our case, it's just 1. After that, you would just hit transfer. I'm actually just going to, maybe I'll just use my own address to like show you guys how this works and how it actually goes through, but not actually send this junk NFT to people because they don't deserve it. Okay, so this is one of my addresses. And then let's see, where else can we spam this out to? And then I'll send it to here as well. All right, so from here on, you would just hit transfer. And then it's just going to ask you to sign a transaction like any other normal transaction. If you want to edit your gas fee, you can do that. And then you hit confirm. It says set approval for all. Please wait for the transaction to finish. Success. The transaction has been finished. So if we come back to our NFT, we should see very shortly that 2 of them have been sent out. And like, this is not instantaneous. Sometimes, again, it will take just a couple minutes, but you will see these transactions go through. So while we're waiting for that, what I would do if we had more to send out from that spreadsheet, and you can kind of close this and go back into it if you need to, is just kind of repeat the same exact process I did. You can even leave the window open. And what I actually learned to do, there was a time where I was doing this and a few of the transactions failed, a few of the batches failed, but I didn't know which ones specifically. So now I've always started, when I go down this list, I mark each one that's next to each other in a different color. So if I see like, you know, say this person, and this person come to me and they're like, oh, we didn't get our airdrop, but this person, and this person did, then you know this is kind of the batch that failed. You can go back and look and say, oh, did these people also not get it? And if the answer is no, then you can just resend this batch. And it's much simpler if you just color code your batches a little bit. But yeah, you can literally just go back in, put their addresses, and oh, shoot, I forgot. Approved? Transfer now? That's weird. Maybe I missed a button. Transferring NFTs, please wait. Transaction has been finished. Okay. Maybe I had to just sign something. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see that there's 3 owners and I own 98 because I just sent 2 out. So that's really all to it. That's all there is to the bulk transfers and using them with Rarity Garden. So I hope this video was very helpful. If you have any questions, like I said, I do encourage you to check out the Rarity Garden Discord because the owner, the developer of this project is active in there and he'll provide you support. But you know, if you have any questions in the chat, come and leave them to me also, because I will definitely try to help you guys out. And yes, use this tutorial for good, not evil. Okay, bye cupcakes.